So, welcome everybody to our Monday night team call in collaboration with my very, very good friend, Eva Angelopoulos. We love doing this, don't we, Eva?
Yeah,
Uh,
we have so much fun.
and we're absolutely grateful that you all took some time, took some time out of your day to jump on here. I'm a little bit rosy cheeked today because I've been out in the sun all day, working out outside today. But I managed to do a presentation to the UK at 2 p.m. our time and was very grateful that I have good Wi-Fi up at my lodge because I was able to get on the leadership calls as well. Now,
Mhm.
for those of you who have never had the pleasure of meeting Eva, she's a pretty special lady, and she's a very, very becoming a very, very dear friend of mine. Um, and we talked one day and just said, "Hey, you know, all ships rise with the tide together." So I said, why don't we collab? Why don't we do some calls together and invite your people? I can invite my people, and we can hear stories. We can do some training. We can do what we can do to help everybody that has taken on this mission to help a billion people with this technology. So here we are. Here we are once again. This is our second or third collab. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. We're
It's
gonna do
four.
lots more
It's
anyways.
number four, but you know who's counting?
Well, we're gonna do lots more anyways. Who
Oh
cares?
yeah, hundreds and hundreds.
So so anyways, we're really excited. Eva has a background in bricks and mortar businesses. She started 40 plus businesses with employees and the normal things, but she's also had an extensive career in the network marketing field, building huge teams and helping people rise to the occasion where you can turn part-time income into full-time income and substantial income, I might add, and throw in a little bit of time freedom in there, which is always nice. Today, I didn't have to ask a boss whether I could open up my lodge and get things organized here. I didn't have to get permission to leave my job to go do that. So I'm very, very grateful for what network marketing has allowed me to do because my background, like Eva's, I come from family business. We had four corporations in my hometown, and it was not unusual to work 12-hour days all week long. And a lot of times you get frustrated with with dealing with almost 300 employees that take advantage of the system, shall we say, at times, and don't show up for their shift and no call and blah blah blah. So this has really been an exciting journey for me. I'm young in the network marketing game compared to some. I started in 2014, and I've managed through failing forward, shall we say, to achieve one of the top ranks in the SuperPatch company. And now with collaborations with people like Eva, I have doing a practitioner call on the 21st where we bring practitioners on to talk about why they have joined us. And I'm in collaboration with a really, really wonderful woman named Ricky James, mother of 8 children. And we just have a blast doing this. So I love collaborations and I love the people that I'm getting to meet. And certainly Eva is one of them. So welcome, Eva.
Well, thank you, sir. Glad to be here. I love working with you because you're just fun. And this business is about having fun, right? And as you were talking about, your business and so on and so forth, Sunday was Mother's Day, and I had received some text messages and they said, I hate to bother you, I know it's Mother's Day, and even the day before, they said, I don't know if you have some time tomorrow to talk. I know it's Mother's Day, and I said, "Oh, it's Mother's Day every day around here." Because I am so blessed, and I'm so thankful and grateful to be working from home. And every day is a holiday in my house, and every day is Mother's Day, and every day is Fourth of July, and every day is Christmas. And that's a blessing, and that's what I want for every single person that wants to build this business, because in this industry, and this is the only industry where you can have it all. I mean, think about this. I had to spend between 500,000 and 1.2 per location to open.
Mhm.
open a business between equipment and building and fixtures, right? And all that. And then you have electricity and then you have, gas. And then you have, you guys, if there's any business owners out here, you know what I'm talking about, right? And there's no guarantee you're going to make it. There's a 50-50 chance you're going to make it, right? Because it depends on so many different things. But here at SuperPatch, what we have is so unique. Can you imagine if you were the only salon in the world and everyone had to come to yours? Or if you were the only retail store in the world, right? And everyone had to shop from you? Think about that. Or what if you were the only restaurant in the world? Well, it's the only super patch in the world. There is no other super patch, right? There won't be another super patch. So think about this. Zero competition. And
Hmm.
you know what I mean, Terry? Like sometimes like I have to stop and even though I'm in it, right? And I love it and I'm doing it and I'm living it, sometimes I have to stop and think, "Oh my gosh, what do we really have here?" Right?
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know? And so think about this. For as little, and I don't recommend this, but for as little as $40, you can come in and build a multi-million dollar business. And guess what the requirement is? Doesn't matter if you have an education, right? Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't matter if you're tall or short or fat or thin or blonde or brunette or, right? It doesn't matter. You know what it requires? Want to, hungry. Are you hungry for what? What are you hungry for, right? Is it lifestyle? Me, it's all about the lifestyle.
Hmm.
Like I want to come and go as I please. I want to eat wherever I want. I want to shop wherever I want. I don't want to look at prices. I hate that. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going a little deep here. So Terry, stop me if I'm out of here. If I'm going over
Of
the
course
top.
not. No, no, no.
But I grew up poor. Anybody here grow up poor? Yeah? Okay. How many of you liked it?
Hmm.
I didn't like it. Now I didn't know I was poor, I guess, right? We didn't know. But here's what I didn't like about it. I didn't like because I didn't have choices, right? We couldn't eat there, we had to eat here, right? We couldn't shop there, we had to shop here. We couldn't, go there, we had to go here. So it was always about, oh my gosh, right? And so growing up, I started noticing and I'm like, hey, how come we can't go over there? Well, because it's too expensive, we can't afford it. Well, why can't we go do this? Well, because it's, we can't afford it, right? I was like, well, I want to afford it. I want to be able to afford it, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And as I grew older, I realized that the reason I couldn't do certain things that other people could is because I didn't have enough money or the family, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm like, okay, so my goal was to become a millionaire. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you're a child, that was my goal, right? When I was a teenager, I'm like, you know what? When I grow up, I want to be a millionaire. And they're like, why do you want to be a millionaire? I'm like, so I can go do things. Because in my head, if you're a millionaire, you can do things, right? And so that was my goal because I wanted to have choices. And so that's what I set out to do, and that's what I did. Now, did I have knowledge? No. Did I have experience? No. Did I know what I was doing? No. But it didn't matter because I had a goal, and my goal was to become a millionaire. And that's what I was gonna do. So at the age of 18, 19, we made our first million. And
Wow.
at the age of 21, we lost it all. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. When you do it once, you can do it again, right? And it doesn't matter what it is. Y'all rode a bike at some point, right? And then you didn't ride a bike, but I bet you if you get on the bike, you might fall, but you're going to get right back up and do it, right? And I'm like, oh, well, no big deal. We'll just do it again. So we did it again and again and again and again and again. And I got really good at it. I got so good at it that I became a slave to it, meaning brick and mortars, right? So even though we had the success, we were missing the time freedom.
Hmm.
You know what I realized, Terry, at one point is that not only did I not have time freedom, but I knew I was here to help others. I was here to make a difference. And I couldn't do it with the brick and mortars because all I could do was give you a job.
Yeah.
It wasn't impacting your life, right? And that's when I was introduced to network marketing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. Like, why didn't I see this? Why didn't somebody tell me about this years ago? I spent 38 years working, the way I did when I could have been doing something like this. Well, here's the answer. I wouldn't have probably appreciated it, right? So I had to pay my dues. And I'm glad I did, right? Um, and in 2016, I mean, I did dabble in the 90s a little bit, but it was like just part-time, just fun stuff. But in 2016, I entered network marketing as a business, and that's what changed our life. So within 6 months, I was able to replace all our income. We shut down those businesses and we never looked back. Went on to make seven figures in the industry a year. And did I know what I was doing? No. Did I learn along the way? Yes. It took me 6 months to figure out the comp plan, but you know what? It paid every month. So I'm here to give you guys hope that this is here for each and every one of you if you're hungry and you want it. Here's the good news though. You don't have to struggle like I did because we're here to help. You don't have to struggle like Terry did in the beginning, right? Because, we went through the trenches and there's a lot of you on here that have, experience in network marketing, right? And you can, dig down and help your teams and get in the trenches with them. And this is what I'm so passionate about this industry is because all you have to do is lock arms with somebody that's headed your direction, right? And then you work together, you collaborate. And we all have strengths and weaknesses, right? I'm not done growing. I learn things all the time. I learn so much from
Mhm.
you guys. Every time we talk, I'm like, hey, I never thought of that. That's a good idea, right? We all learn. And so I'm so thankful and grateful for this industry, for the opportunity we have here, and that we don't have to worry about lotions, potions, juices, ingredients, side effects, this, that, and the other. We have a simple patch and go, right? I love it. It doesn't get any simpler or easier than that. So thank you for having me on. I know I just went I took you guys all over
No,
the
it's
world.
it's no, it's fantastic because um, I can remember when I was introduced to network marketing, we still had our family businesses, and it was really funny because my son was an athlete. My son was a hockey player,
Mhm,
and I was buying him creatine and protein, and one month it was a green pail, and the next month it was a white pail, and the next month it was a blue pail, and my dad had passed away in 2012. He had a stroke at 73 at it right at his desk in our one of our companies, and he never recovered from it. And there was a lot of things that happened, a lot of things that weren't in place, and my son came to me one day and was, using this product, and they had um, an adaptogenic drink
mhm,
to help with cortisol, to help with
mhm,
stress. And my son was so worried about my stress level with what was going on, trying to make payroll every 2 weeks. And our payroll in was as high in our four corporations as $1 million every 2 weeks.
mhm,
And we had to lean on banks a lot. And it was always fighting margin, always fighting competitors, always fighting somebody that would come in and lowball a price.
mhm,
And I was stressed out.
mhm,
And my son came to me and was talking about this product. And I can remember saying to my wife one night, why is Wes so focused on talking to me about this product, this protein or product? I said, I don't give a crap what it is. I'll pay for it. Let's get it if that's what he wants.
mhm,
And she looked at me and she said, he's concerned about your health,
mhm,
concerned about your stress level, and he wants you to try something that will
mhm,
help you with your stress.
mhm.
Well, I didn't know that because sometimes you listen but you don't hear.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
but that's what I did. And so it was from a network marketing company that he got involved with at 18 years old
Mhm,
because he loved their protein product. And so
Sure.
the next day I apologized to him. Um, gave him a big hug and said, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. And so, what do you got? So he showed
Hmm.
me. Then I said, well, what is this? What is network marketing? And I basically used the product, had a physical appearance change,
Hmm.
and people started asking. People started asking, what are you doing?
Hmm.
And I simply started sharing it.
Hmm.
Said, well, I'm just using this stuff, and
Hmm.
I've lost some weight. And they were concerned more so not about what I was doing. Most people are concerned if you lose weight, they think
Right.
you're sick. They think you're sick. But if you put on
Right.
weight, they'll talk behind your back and say, "Oh, did you see how fat Terry got?" So it was the other way around. But I started sharing it with people and just said, "This is what I'm doing." And the next thing you know, they wanted to try it. They wanted to try it.
Mhm.
And so the reason I'm telling you this is the importance of your story, the importance
Right.
of telling people what your story is, because all of a sudden I started sharing it, knew nothing about network market. Neither did my son. He had to sign me up so I could get product. He didn't know anything about it either. He was 18 years old. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I made like $360.
Hmm.
And I went, that's kind of a light bulb moment. I was sharing it, not expecting anything.
Right.
And the next thing you know, I was making a paycheck from it.
Hmm.
Now, albeit it wasn't very large, but it grew fairly large fairly quickly in 9 months, was sharing it and engaging in the business because I really wanted to learn the profession of network marketing because I hadn't paid my dues. I hadn't been in it long enough. And
Hmm.
so what did I need to do? I can remember saying to my wife, listen, I want to build this thing. I want to be in the top 3% of network marketers. So I want to learn the profession, but I said, I need you to agree to 1 year. Just give me 1 year where I'm not going to be the greatest husband in the world because I got to work at our family businesses for 10 to 12 hours a day. Then I'm going to come home and eat, and I'm going to work every morning till 1 or 2 in the morning. That's how bad I wanted it.
Yeah.
What I actually did is I unhooked all our TVs, canceled all our cable, and had no TV because it was too big of a distraction for me and I wanted it bad enough. And one of our companies was in the printing industry, printing newspapers and flyers, and I could see that the industry was going online, right? And so I didn't want to be part of that. So we ended up selling. I ended up building a business and then did some business with Jay, knew Jay since 2008. Our paths crossed again in 2015. We lost track of each other from about 2012 to 2015. And I ran into Jay and he was like, I'm like, what are you doing, brother? Like, what's going on? And he showed me this stuff he was working on trying to help his mom and he did the lateral and dynamic stability assessment on me. And he literally, Eva, had to do it like 3 times, maybe 4 times, because I was an ex-athlete, and I'm like, okay, you shouldn't be able to tip me over that easy. Now, I wasn't ready. Now, do it again. And so
Right.
plan it and whatever, and boom, major failure again. Then the technology came, and he made me. At that time, it was insoles. I stepped on the insoles. It was the same pattern for our
Right.
for our Liberty patch,
Mhm.
and he couldn't move me. And I seriously thought it was a bar trick. I'm like, what the hell? So I can hardly wait to try it on somebody because I want to see if he can do it, then I should be able to do it. There's no
Right.
trick to it. And
Yeah.
so I remember driving home, and a buddy of mine who played pro hockey for the Boston Bruins, I called
Mhm.
him up. I said, hey, Hoovy. His name was Ron Hoover. You can look him up. Anyways, I'm like, Hoovy, what are you doing? He says, I'm just getting ready to work out. I said, listen, I'm 20 minutes from home. I'll come and work out with you. He said, all right, I'll wait. I had no intentions of working out. All I want to do is to have permission to go to his house and be able to have him stand on these insoles and do this balance assessment. And it was mind blowing. So right then and there, I thought I was onto something. And then Before the company was even launched, I took product, sold it at a hockey tournament, went to a hockey tournament, sold product, and in 2 days sold $4,600 worth of product just doing lateral and dynamic stability assessments. Now, I knew
Right.
nothing about building a team. The company hadn't even been started yet. That was at Christmas of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Jay didn't launch his first company until 2016, and then revamped and was doing some beta testing with patches. Why? Because people in Florida and California don't wear socks and insoles.
Right.
So he needed a new delivery mechanism to get it to the skin. So
Mm-hmm.
we started beta testing patches. And I can remember prior to um, COVID, we were going to the ladies were putting on an event, and Jay said, "You want to go and listen to the ladies?" I said, "Well, it's all ladies." He said, "Who cares? Let's go." So we went, and in my car on the way over, he said, "I got a new patch coming out. There's a new virus that's coming out." What do you mean a new virus is coming out? It sounded like a new pair of jeans or shoes. He said, "No,
Right.
it's a man-made virus." Where he got this information at the time, Eva, I have no idea. But now I'm in network marketing mode. I'm now
Mhm.
in network marketing mode.
Yeah.
So he says, if you wear that there's a new flu, bird-like flu coming out, that they're going to blame on this, blame on that, and it's
Right.
all about marketing drugs and whatever, whatever. And I'm like, wow, this sounds like a sci-fi movie to me. He said,
Mhm.
dude, I've developed a patch. It's called the Neurovax patch at the time when it was first launched.
Mhm.
And he said, I am so confident wearing this patch that this virus that's created in Wuhan, China,
Mhm.
he said, I'm so confident in wearing this patch that if I wore this patch, I wouldn't have any problem licking the door handle of the Wuhan hospital. So I'm like, wow. You imagine how many people went in that Wuhan hospital with with the virus, and he's gonna lick the door handle. I'm like, I'm in. Let's go. So the journey of patches was relaunched in January of 2023.
Yeah.
And what we have, the 8 marketing advantages that we have here with being priced properly, with the intellectual property being protected, being registered with the FDA as a level 1 medical device, being affordable for everybody. Um, these marketing advantages that we have are second to none. And from my perspective, I look at it, yeah, there's going to be people that don't believe. There's going to be people that won't do this. There's skeptics
Sure.
all over the world. Um, this is a technology. And I'm sure when the Wright brothers started talking about airplanes and flying people around the world, everybody thought they were nuts. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that Thomas Edison, when he said he was going to put electricity into everybody's homes instead of using candles or kerosene lamps, they thought he was nuts as well. Well,
Yeah.
thinking that you can improve the quality of your life, and I call them soldiers. I don't call them patches. I got 13 soldiers on my team that
Yeah.
whatever I need help with that day, if I need if I need help with stress, then I call on the peace soldier. And the
Mhm.
peace soldier comes and fights for me.
Mhm.
That's what I call it. And so to share this, I started just building and learning how to do that. Why? Because I showed up. I showed
Right.
up every day. I showed up when I was mad. I showed up when I was tired. I showed up when I was pissed off. I showed up when I was happy. I showed up when I was didn't have time to show up, but I showed up anyways, right?
Mhm.
And so
Absolutely.
there's one thing about, network marketing. It's a different industry. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful industry. If people would just show up with intent for 1 year and do it either part-time or full-time, but not sometime and expect. So I showed up and
Mhm.
you show up and the leaders in this company show up every day. And those that have got to ranks and are building multiple six-figure incomes are the ones that show up and are not embarrassed to not know. They want to be the dumbest person in the room because they want to learn and they want to be able to teach people and they want
Mhm.
to help people. So with this company, what I decided to do was just simply show up. I'm still learning every day. I've put together some simple slide decks to show people how to create volume with sharing this technology. This isn't about, I never wanted to be a patch salesman. Trust me. I wanted to be a technology sharer.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to give people a solution for what they've been struggling with, what they want to improve in their life, whether physical or financial. And this is the best forum network marketing that I ever seen. And this product
Mhm.
is is already doing it, but it's going to change the way the world looks at their own health and their own well-being.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, if you don't get on this ride now and you don't stay on this ride and work on it, you're going to miss the boat. You
Mhm.
truly are going to. And you know what? In network marketing, not every day is a good day. Not every
Well, you
day is a
know
good day.
what? On our worst day is better than the job day.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
think about it. What's a bad day in network marketing? Somebody doesn't call you back, somebody doesn't answer your phone, somebody doesn't, show up, somebody, right? Like,
Mhm.
what's the bad day in network marketing?
Yeah,
I mean, my worst day in network marketing is somebody didn't show up
yeah.
for an appointment, right?
Or somebody didn't get on a call or whatever, but
Right. But I didn't miss out, they did. And to
right.
your point, Terry, because I love your story, and you said this throughout your whole story. I don't know if anybody caught on, but all you did from the minute those buckets came into your house, the tubs, right?
Yep,
All the way up until the super patch, all you did was simply share.
yep,
That's all you've done is share. And as humans, that's in our nature to share, right? How many of you go to a restaurant to eat and it's a great restaurant and you tell your friends, right? How about if it's a bad restaurant? You tell your friends, right? If you see a good movie, you tell your friends. If the movie wasn't good, you tell your friend, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, you're going to tell your friends, right? Because that's what we do. We share.
yeah.
That's our nature. And that's what you did from your career, from the day those tubs showed up that your son ordered, all the way up until, today, all you're still sharing. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I
Love that.
am a product of the product. I'm,
Amen.
you know, 64 this year, in a couple months. And I'll
Mhm.
tell you what, I feel better than I did at 52.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm up here. I mean, it drives my wife crazy because I'm 35 kilometers back in the bush. I have all the comforts of home, but my wife is always afraid that I'm gonna climb on the roof and fall off or, you know, fall off my quad or pinch my fingers and cut my fingers off while I'm putting docks together or whatever. But I absolutely love it, and I am enjoying it more now at my age because of these patches, and I've got them all over my legs. I've got them all over the place.
I was
And
gonna say, be careful, Terry.
look, I got patches everywhere. Like they're
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wear them because they make a difference in my life. And trust me, I've tested them. I've not worn them and tried to do stuff around my house, around here. And I'm like,
Mhm.
why do I feel so clumsy?
Right?
Why do I
Yeah,
feel
it's
so off
true.
balance? And I'm
And
like,
you know what? Let me say something on age because I take things to the limit. And I mean, I push that envelope as far as I can push it. So I'm very in tune with health and wellness, with the body, how it works, and what we tweak and so since we're all telling our age, I'm 60 and I went and I had testing because I believe in testing. Your blood does not lie, right? Everything the doctor does, the test result wise, they don't lie. And I have team members on here, so they know this story. My chronological age is 33.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Now, that's freaking amazing because I plan to live till I'm 150. So I'm just like a teenager, right? And I say this to you guys because there is nothing more important than our health. Nothing, right? I mean, you can have millions of dollars, but what good is it if you're sick, right? And you can't go do anything or whatever. So We have the opportunity, and let me just say this, the opportunity here is what? Not to buy wholesale, not to buy retail, not to build a business. The opportunity here is to take back your health and wellness, number one, which is the most important thing. And then number two is to share with people you love and care about. Now,
Yep.
you do that enough times, you'll make the money. So you don't chase the money, right? Focus on what's important, and that's health and wellness. Does that mean go out and sell patches? No. I mean, unless you like to, right? But go out and share. If a person is walking and they have skin, they qualify.
Yeah.
If they're on a stretcher and they don't have any skin, they're not a good candidate for super patches. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but you guys get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Is that, people, and especially now, and I don't know how in tune everybody is, but people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, number one. They're tired of medications, lotions, potions, juices, vitamins, this, that, and the other that they buy, and they use them and they still have no results. And they're just over it and they just want to feel good, right? They just want to feel better. And when a person feels better, they do better. So that's the opportunity here that we have is for us to take back our own health and wellness and then pass it on. You guys fly, right? Do y'all fly? You guys have flown,
Yep.
right? What do they say? When the oxygen mask drops, put yours on first and then help whoever, right? It's not help everybody and then you die. So you have to take back your own health and wellness, which means you have to be a product of the product. I
Yeah.
don't go anywhere without my patches. You know, um, I wear the Liberty, I wear the Defend, I wear the Victory. Liberty, Victory, Defend is a must. I don't do anything without those patches. And then on top of that, and I add the Lumi, the Ignite, and yeah, the Lumi and the Ignite.
Well, I'll tell you, you've said it very clearly about taking back your health, Eva. And I've heard it said before, when you're healthy and you're growing in the world, you have many wishes.
Mm,
When you're sick, you only have one,
yeah, yeah.
right? So we want to live, I'm not looking to live forever, that's for sure. Would that be nice? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not looking to stop the aging process. I'm looking to age wonderfully. I'm looking to age and do stuff that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. Why? Because I neglected my health.
Mhm,
And I've seen so many people, I've got even friends that are in their mid 60s that
mhm,
are just an absolute hot mess.
mhm,
And they look like they're 80 and
mhm,
it's been neglect. And
mhm.
so I can remember because I used to be a smoker on and off. As soon as hockey season was done, as soon as we got beat out, I'd go to the store and get a pack of cigarettes. Terrible, 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 terrible habit. But I liked it. But at 52 years old, smoking on and off my whole life because my dad was a smoker and I knew that if I didn't do something at that point,
Mhm.
that smoking was going to kill me. And
Sure.
I wouldn't be able to walk up hills. I wouldn't have maybe emphysema would be. And so I look back at my son and thankful to my son that he cared enough about my own health before I did and pointed
Right.
it out to me. And so
Mhm,
there's a lot of people out there, I guarantee you, that are not aware to the degree of the stress they're under, like I was under, that my son tried to point out to me. Everybody thinks they got big muscles and can handle everything. Well, we probably can, but wouldn't it be nice to have a soldier on our side? Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody that can help us deal with that and we
or
can
a few.
show other people? And that's what I think is exciting. And those that want to do, you talked about bricks and mortar businesses and you talked about, your expenses and fixtures and that's a cost that you put. But then there are fixed costs.
Right.
There are those costs, the rent,
Sure.
hydro bill, the phone bill,
Yeah.
payroll are fixed unless you give somebody a raise, whatever. But there's fixed costs that you as a business owner accepted. and agreed to.
Yep.
Well, our fixed cost in the super patch, it just still to this day blows my mind. Our fixed cost is $90.
I know. That's
Fifty
the overhead of
packs of
running a business.
patches, and
Yeah.
if people would just accept the fixed cost of $90,
Right.
spread the news of the patches and tell people if they want to do it, accept your fixed cost,
Right.
duplicate that, you'll make in a year, you'll be making money that you never thought was possible to make.
Mhm.
We don't make
Mhm.
income claims, but show up. Accept your
Mhm.
financial responsibility, whether it's this network marketing company, which I hope you would, uh, you know, be here with the rest of us while we get to a billion people. But in
Mhm.
any company that you're in, there's a financial responsibility that if you want to be successful, you got to accept it and then learn how the business works, or learn how the business works first, then accept your financial responsibility. I look
Mhm.
at it, they bumped up the smart ship to 4 packs for 3.
I know,
It was the
right?
biggest no-brainer in the world for me because even if I have 3 people that are on
Right.
smart chip and you're only on a 2 pack smart chip, I
Right.
still get the business builder bonus
Right.
of 2 free packs. But if I'm buying 3 and getting 1 for free, that gives me 6 packs of patches a month to build my business and continue to share this product. Buy 3 and I get 3 for free because I have 2 people on a smart chip. I'm now paying 22.50 a pack of patches.
Right. I know.
$22.50 a pack. So the 4 for 3 pack, Jay's a businessman. He wants us to see what he sees. He's doing everything he can to help us
Mhm.
from that perspective. But those that want to build a business, all I can tell you from my own experience, because I'm not a network marketer, I have become a network marketer. Why? Because I showed up. I was open to learn.
Mhm.
I kept this shut and I kept these wide open. And if you do that and decide to build this and commit,
Mhm.
and you accept your financial responsibility,
Mhm.
you will see nothing but success because then you can duplicate that. You can present that as the financial puzzle, the
Mhm.
financial game plan on how to build sales volume. Because I'm going to tell you, there isn't any company in the world, mine included, any salesperson that worked for us worked on volume. They got paid a base and then they were bonused on volume. You'll make lots of money creating volume.
You will. And the other thing too, Terry, is that here's the difference between, excuse me, network marketing and what you and I did. And just like you said, your sales reps, right?
Mhm.
No one could do my job when I had those brick and mortars. I had to show up and do my job.
Yeah.
No one else was the CEO. I was the CEO. So there was no one else to take that position, just like there was no one else to take your position,
Yeah.
right? Your sales reps, my sales reps that came in, they had to sell all the time in order to get paid,
Yeah.
right? Whether it was food, whether it was devices, whatever it was. In network marketing, you don't have to be the one. Knock on wood, something happened to you. Let's say you were sick, right? Or let's say a family member was sick and you had to go take care of them. Your
Mhm.
income doesn't stop here once you've built it
Yeah.
because you have an entire team that is continuing, right, to move forward. Just like when somebody on your team, has to take time off for, an emergency or whatever, everybody else steps up, right? And continues the pace. There's the meetings continue, the Zooms continue, the calls continue, the three-way calls continue, like, everything that is used to build our business. And that's what's different here is you have duplicated yourself over and over and over and over. You're not depending on just you because, people that have jobs, right? No one else can go do your job. You have to show up. You don't show up, you have no job.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't care if you're sick or not, right? Or if a family member is sick or not. And that's the beautiful thing about this, that if you truly run this like a business, because it truly is a business, okay? it will pay you forever. And not only that, but you'll have that freedom to be with your children or your grandchildren, or to take that trip, or to take care of a grandparent or an elderly parent, or whatever it is that you want to do. Because you're not relying just on yourself. You have an entire team. And let me tell you how these numbers work. And Terry, I don't know what your numbers look like, but um, I will tell you 157. I'm going to use my previous company as an example. I personally um, enrolled 157 people. These were not people I knew. These were people that I met. Okay. And this was within a year time. And that 157 people turned into 35,000 people. Now, I did not know 35,000 people, just so you know. Okay. But guess what? This person brought in two, person brought in 50, this person brought in five, this person brought in one, this person brought in none, right? It's a numbers game, right? And so I just focused on my numbers, and then the rest grew exponentially. And my only job was to create leaders. That's all.
Yeah.
And what do I do today? I just create leaders. So my goal is to create 100 new millionaires. So
Great.
whoever wants it, I tell them step up, because I'm only going to work with those,
Yeah.
right? That's who wants to build. So you can build something that's going to last forever, and is going to pay you as such, and give you the freedom to be able to live your life the way you have designed it. But
Yeah.
here's what you got to do. You got to do a couple of things. Number one, you have to look within you, right? Look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, okay, what do I want? Number one, what do I want? That's important. You have to know what you want, because if you don't know what you want, then you're not going to get anything, right? You have to know what you want. Number two, what am I willing to give up to get that, right? That's important, because we all have to give something up. There's only so many hours in the day, so many days in a week, right? When I started back in 2016, I gave up football. And you're going to say to me, football? Yeah, because I watched football every single night. Thank God, because there was an NFL channels. I know the ladies are like, she's nuts. But you know what it was for me? That was my downtime from all those crazy businesses, right? I could come home and I could yell at the guys, they dropped the ball. That was a touchdown. You know what I mean? And so that was kind of my release. And of course, my son played football. So to me, it made sense, right? And so I gave up football. I know
Mhm.
that sounds crazy, but that's what I gave up, because every night I was doing three-way calls, presentations, blah, 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 in between, work, going from location to location to location. That's when I would do my calls, right? And so ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? You have to give it up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's TV, maybe it's playing ball, maybe it's, I don't know, bowling. I don't know what y'all do, right? And here's the good news. You don't have to give it up forever. You have to give it up for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this. I never went back to football. Even though I could, I know y'all are laughing, but you know what? I found that I didn't need it anymore. You know why? Because I was happy and content. I could care less who's on whose team anymore. It didn't pertain to me, right? So I just realized that, I had fulfilled my life with so many people that I didn't need these people on TV. I don't even watch it. I don't ever watch the news. I couldn't tell you what was going on, because there's so many negative people in the world. I got to say what's new and they'll tell you, right? And so what are you willing to give up? That's so important. And if you have a family, and what do I mean by that? If you have a spouse, if you have children at home, make sure you share this with them, because they all need to be on the same page, right? It's very, very important. When I was building, I said to my husband, and it took him a while to figure this out. And I said to him, I said, listen, I said, I'm building this business. We're going to get rid of our brick and mortars, and this is all we're going to do. So just leave me alone unless somebody is dying or, you know, you're on fire. Don't call me because I'm busy. And I know you all are laughing, but it was true, right?
I
And
did the
then,
same thing. I did the
yeah,
same thing.
you have to
Yep.
because I was so in the zone, right? And the only important thing were the people I was talking to because remember they were depending on me, right? And so I said, unless somebody's dying or somebody's on fire, and it better be one of you, don't call me because I'm busy. But you know what? In 6 months, it I changed our life
Hmm.
forever, forever. Now, did I miss any of those things I gave up? Of course not. Actually, I was having more fun. You know why? Because I was always at a lunch. I was always at a coffee. I was always out running around, meeting people, traveling, right? And I was being paid to do it. So, what did I really miss out on? Nothing. Nothing.
Yep.
Going back, no, I didn't miss out on anything. So give yourself that grace and commit to you. Don't commit to me. Don't commit to Terry. Commit to you and say, okay, I'm going to do this XYZ based on your goal, right? For 6 months or 1 year or whatever, right? And you put the blinders on and don't listen to the noise. That's important. You've got to be able to stay focused and you only work with your upline leader, not your sponsor, your most successful leader that you have in your upline, right? And you work directly with them, daily phone calls. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I've done. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't. And you'll have pity parties, and that's okay. So I'm giving you all permission to have a pity party, but here's how that works. Terry, you're going to get some calls here.
Can't wait. I
I
can't
give
wait.
you,
I've
I
never
give
said
you
I've
permission.
never said no. I've never said
I give,
no. So bring it on. Bring
I
it on.
give you permission to call Terry and have your pity party, but it lasts 10 minutes. You can cry, whine, yell, scream, whatever you got to do. And then after that, we go back to work,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes it's okay to do that. We're human, right? You're going to have disappointments, but here's the good news. Once you're down, there's only one way, and that's up, right? So it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to have a pity party. It's okay to, all the emotions, because this is an emotional business, right? We're dealing with all these emotions, and that's okay. Enjoy the journey. And
Hmm.
here's why, because then you're going to be in a position to help the people that have come in because you will have gone through it, right? And so it's very important to go through all, not because you enjoy being let down, right? Or pushed around or whatever, but that's what helps you to grow the most. That's when we grow the most, right? And so enjoy the journey, have your pity parties, do what you got to do, but show up every single day because you're building your future. You're designing your life, not somebody else's,
Yeah.
right? And
100,
so I
100%.
just wanted to share that. So
I think what I'd like to do, Eva, for the last 10 minutes or so is I'd like to just open it up to the
I
field.
love it. Yeah.
Let's just open it up to the field. If somebody wants to share a success, share a
Mhm.
win that you had,
Yeah.
on tonight's call, no pity party tonight. Okay, we're
Oh, come on. Don't be a party pooper,
save
Terry.
that. We'll save that for private call. But if somebody wants to share a win, share a testimonial, a
Or
story,
they have a question, right? Or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. So I'm sure that
Come
you've
on,
got.
everybody. Party.
Let's go. I see people that are just about ready to hit the unmute button or whatever, but
Let's go.
they
Start asking.
stop.
Okay, I'm here.
Hey, hi, Ken.
Hey, but hey, Terry.
Hey, Ken, how
Um,
are you?
I'm incredible. You're doing a great job on the plank and push-up challenge, Terry, by the way.
Thanks so much. Hey, I had a pity party day yesterday because I didn't do it till like 11:30 at night. and I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And I'm like, don't be such a wimp. And so, but I want people to know there's bad days
Yeah.
and good days. So thank you, Ken. I appreciate the support.
Absolutely. I never thought I would be doing something like the plank and push-up challenge ever again. I've been a massage therapist for close to 3 decades. And back in 2021, April of 2021, I ended up in the hospital with that virus you were talking about.
Hmm.
And they literally gave me 3 to 5 days to live, but I wasn't going to buy into that story. I spent 3 months in the hospital, and when I got home, I was on oxygen 24/7. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't even walk up the stairs by myself. And my life was pretty much over. It forced me into retirement. Well, fast forward 3 years, I'd gotten a lot better during that period of time, but I had plateaued for the last year and a half. And SuperPatch came along, and I started wearing the patches, the Liberty patch, the Victory patch, added in the Defend patch and the Freedom patch. And it was like somebody turned on a light switch for me. I
Wow.
mean, my balance was better. I had more energy. I was more stable. I was even starting to breathe better. And I literally got my life back, and I was even able to go back to work. And this challenge came along, and I was like, oh my gosh, I that sounds crazy. But I was determined I was going to do that. Okay, I've got these patches. I've done really well. I've shared them with people, and they're all excited about it. So I started sharing the challenge and the patches, and it's been amazing what's happened and how well I've done that I thought I would never do again. So thank you for listening to my.
Wow, Ken, that's an amazing story and congratulations. And you were somebody that had the patches shared to you.
Yes.
And you were open enough to try it. And so now you almost feel I suggest you almost feel like it's a fiduciary duty to be able to share this to other people for what it's done for you. So it goes back again to telling your story. And thank you for telling your story tonight because it's a phenomenal story. And there's what Super Patch does is it gives people hope in whatever they're looking for. It gives them tremendous hope. It gives them that light at the end of the tunnel is not always a train coming at you. It's the exit.
But you know what, Terry? Ken had every excuse in the book as to why not to do this, right? Because before super patches, I mean, he was on oxygen, he couldn't leave, right? He couldn't, go far, he couldn't do that. I mean, I've watched him go up and down stairs, and so here's somebody who had every reason not to, but he's doing it in spite of, right? So he's not using it as an excuse, he's using it as his reason to help others. And Ken, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, for sharing. Really appreciate it. I think Alyssa had unmuted herself there at the same time. So Alyssa, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just have a question about your associate versus the practitioner. If you
Mhm.
could tell me what's the difference on that? Like I guess the practitioner is reading, do they get training materials or something?
A practitioner cannot participate in the compensation plan. They're just buying product to sell at wholesale retail, where an associate can actually build the business and bring in associates and bring in customers and that's the difference. So all of my, with the exception of two, all of my practitioners come, they don't come in as practitioners, they come in as associates because we build a business, another stream of income into that practice. Mhm.
And then what about, I mean, is it okay? I do have some inventory, but like Is it okay just to sell it online and have people directed that way to get it,
Yeah,
the
right on
product?
your website. Right
It's
on your
like,
website.
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
what a lot of people are doing, Alyssa, is when they practitioners that sign up as an associate, they do it because they can sign themselves or their own practice up underneath themselves.
Mhm.
They can still buy through their practitioner account. Um, so for volume, but it gives them the opportunity to build a team, which
Mhm.
otherwise they wouldn't have that opportunity to do unless they had an associate account. And I know that I've said to different associates that didn't want to build, and I said, okay, so are you happy to refer if somebody does? Are you happy to refer to me? Um, and I said, I'll tell you why. If you'd humor me for a second, I say to them, let's say you have two or three people in a year that you've given the patches to, they've had tremendous success with them, and they want to get involved. You're okay with saying, okay, well, talk to my sponsor, Terry. And you're okay if I come back 8 months later and say, thank you for those referrals. They've made me approximately $30,000 because they're building a team. Would you be okay with that? So I said, if you if you have somebody that wants to build, don't do yourself an injustice. Come to me and I'll help you do it.
Right,
Help you build it. I'll learn it. And anybody that gets a taste of passive income, I don't care whether it's $200, I don't
right.
care whether it's $2,000. When you get a taste of passive income that comes in,
Mhm.
whether you're awake or whether you're asleep, you don't want to lose it. And most people want to engage and learn how to do it better and bigger. So, practitioners, I always say, please just humor me for a second here. I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. And I want to make sure you understand what you could be missing out on. And so,
I would like to know more about it exactly. Like, I mean, I know how much the patches are, they're sold for, but like, how much are we actually profiting and how does that, all, is there somewhere I can read all about
Yes.
that? Or so you
On
don't have to go
our
through
team page. Yep. And then call me and I'll share it with you.
what page you said?
Our team page. Everything is in there. Mhm.
Team page
Yep.
yep.
on Facebook or this,
Yep.
which I can't access.
I know, because she's in Facebook jail, but that's okay.
Oh, no.
Fine.
Oh, we got to have a pity party right now for Alyssa.
She's in Facebook jail. So yeah, just call me and we'll talk about it. I'll show you. Mhm. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's great,
Helen has
great.
her hand raised for 3 hours. She's been waiting.
No, I have not 3 hours, but
I
thank
know,
you. Yeah, so
just
just to just to clarify what Alyssa was saying there about her having inventory and being able to sell it online. We have our website that is assigned to us is where we sell them. We can't go on like Amazon or anything like that and
kidding.
sell them.
No.
So to sell them from your website, it's the website that's assigned to you as a practitioner or as
Mhm.
an independent.
Yeah, what some people do that have their own personal website for their practice or whatever, they put their link,
Mhm.
Correct.
L link on their web page or their website, and then when you click on it, it actually goes to your replicated website as a practitioner and they order from there.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Because I don't think we're allowed to do it otherwise, right?
No.
No, and I
Yeah.
think that's what she
Exactly.
meant. She just said online, but she means her website. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, well, she did say that she has inventory and can she put it
Yeah,
online and sell it?
she doesn't have that much. It's just, it's just a package that she brought. But most practitioners, they don't want to carry inventory, right? I mean, I don't want to carry inventory. So what they do is they have like their original kit, that they purchased, right? And then they'll sell that off or demo it or whatever. And then after that, and this is what I find with most of my practitioners is it's easy to just, send people to the website. People are already used to shopping online and, goes directly to their home. So it makes it just seamless that way. And what I love about it, and this is why my practitioners like it, is they pick up all these extra clients, right? All these extra patients that they didn't even know because their patient told their friend and gave them that link, right? And they went there and they shopped. So that's really cool too. So absolutely.
Okay,
All
well, I
right.
want to respect everybody's time. We're right at 9 o'clock. Um, and what I just want to do is throw a reminder out there. Myself and a woman named Ricky James, who's a national vice president in this company as well, we host together a practitioner call. We do it once a month. We've got some amazing, amazing people on. It is 8 p.m. Eastern and it is on May 21st. May 21st. You'll see it in the groups. Eva has the link. She's got the flyer for it. If you want to hear exciting stuff, you listen to a practitioner that has had an amazing experience with the patches and doesn't want to get all scientific on us, just says, I brought them into my practice because they worked for me.
Mhm.
That's very, very compelling. And so we have these practitioners on telling their stories and telling patient stories, telling their excitement about this technology, and it's very, very good to leverage. And so you can invite as many people as you want on this, people that are interested in it, other practitioners that are interested in it, friends, family, you name it can be on this call. The last call we had 300 people on the call. So
Mhm.
this one I'm expecting probably 350 to 400 because the practitioners are powerful because a lot of times people say they want to know the science, but they really don't. What they really want to know is the practitioner wearing it. Is the
Well,
practitioner wearing it?
and you know what's funny is the practitioners aren't the ones that want to know. It's like the everyday people that wouldn't ever understand it anyways. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that
Well, the
crazy?
person that, well, the person that I've seen it happen, even the person that says they want to know the science, all they have to do is hear one prominent doctor talk about why they want it or why they wore it and what it's done
Right.
for their life. Then all of a sudden, the science kind of disappears,
Mhm.
right? So
I know. It's
anyway,
crazy. Any last minute questions or comments or anybody want to add anything before we jump off?
great.
Okay.
Hey guys, you can unmute yourself and say good